YouTube, what's good? We're back. Opinions aren't fact. My name is Jack. That's RSS Lane. That's Wall, and that's Scoot. How are you guys doing?
What up?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Be alive.
Lovely.
We're finally back, guys. Just like we said in the last video, we did opening 26. Now we're doing the Pill of One Piece, where to start. You saw me and Scoot do it, but now we've got our boy Wall and RSS Lane, and I know they are ecstatic and over the moon to see the Pill of
Over
One
the
Piece.
moon is crazy, bro.
Over the moon.
Y'all over the moon?
No,
Nah, I'm under the sun. I'm under the sun, man.
you need some sun.
Yes.
I'm not that. Look how my brothers
Hey, you
treat the
see
light
why
skins. Look
we're
how they treat the
friends,
light
right?
skins. Look at that, man.
So they're excited to see it. RSS Lane is going to be joining us on episode 2, and then Wall is going to be joining us on after episode 11 or after episode 14, excuse me. So if you want to go ahead and see everything early, want to see everything right now, all the episodes, go ahead and join the Patreon. You're going to be several episodes ahead. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this video, guys.
Let's get it. It's a good one, bro. This video is just pretty much telling you like why you should watch One Piece.
Certain ominous shadow.
They
cast
upgraded their
across this
ship.
channel.
Look at that.
You see, as a YouTuber, I'm generally known for 4 things.
Oh, this is a
My
YouTube
long,
video.
Wait,
in-depth
I'm
videos, my love of
Come
all
on
things shonen, my utterly flawless spelling, and my absolutely perfect pronunciation
Oh, you can
of
listen
the Japanese language. And the problem with those former two is that at some points it means that I need to do a video on the series One Piece. Which is fine. I like One Piece quite a lot, in fact.
I like One Piece.
But the issue comes from how
I don't know if I like
Piece is
insanely
definitely
long
fire
the
so
series
far.
is, currently residing at its 833rd chapter, and the staggering breadth of its world.
When was it?
which,
I
according-
want to say I did the same
Wait, hold
thing
on.
when we watched it last
So,
time. 7 years
you-
ago.
7 years is crazy.
What's
You
up,
about
Wall?
to have us watch how many episodes?
1,000 something. There's 1,000 something, bro.
So we're gonna
the
be
One
like
Piece
Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You
has
know, we
currently
just one episode at a time.
866
Go the
named
journey, right?
characters. I know because I counted and it took a long time. So how does one talk about such a massive series like One Piece? Well, the answer that I've come to at least
Our boy
is
Zoro,
the
man.
same way that one devours a whale,
Hey, you got somebody
And that
smoking a
is-
cigarette, you know.
piece by piece.
Man is wearing a thong.
One piece.
Get it?
Nah.
And so,
Why
what
is
we're
Chess so
going to do
hairy?
here today is that rather than go straight into a full-blown why you should watch/read, which, don't worry, we will get to, is to first put out a shorter video covering what I
Damn.
consider some of the broader structural
Nah, there's no way he
aspects
should
of
come
One
back from
Piece,
that.
which will then free us up
rubber.
and allow us to take a much deeper dive into the characters and themes.
You still got
later
a
on.
skull, though, right?
So with this in mind, my friends,
rubber.
please sit back, relax, and consider this an entree with the main course still to come. And let's discuss the appeal of One Piece. Where to start? I
Okay.
first encountered One Piece in 2006 on the UK television version of Toonami. And unbeknownst to me at the time,
Oh, man, the
watching was
throwback.
the infamous 4Kids
They need to
dub,
bring that
I
back.
remember
which
that
would become
robot,
well
man.
known over
Yeah,
time
I remember
because
the
of
robot.
the
I've never
watched
translation
Toonami.
and excessive
Yeah.
amounts of censorship. And even despite these
Well,
factors,
you got a
I
lollipop now?
really came to enjoy the adventures of Nami, Zoro, and of course Luffy. The series had a unique playfulness to it that made it stand out from other more stoic series I'd seen up until this point, like Bleach and Dragon Ball Z. And even in the show's more dramatic moments, there was always a tremendous amount of fun to be had. Of course, as I watched the imaginative pirate adventure on my parents' old TV, what I was completely unaware of was what a world-shattering
These remind me
phenomenon
of
I was
Zelda.
actually dealing with. That revelation would only strike me several years later, when, on a trip to Japan, it became obvious what a massive deal One Piece actually was. Around
Can't wait to go
every
to Japan.
corner in every shop seemed to lie another
look at those
new piece of
figurines.
Straw Hat Pirate merchandise. Luffy and his
figurines are
ragtag
kinda
crew
nice.
were everywhere on everything.
Y'all
One
trying to
Piece
just press
branded
One Piece next
bread,
year for
One Piece
Halloween?
bath salts, even
Yeah.
entire One Piece branded shops.
You can be Nami.
It was incredible to
Huh?
see how I thought it was a simple show about pirates
Oh, ain't got that
utterly
reindeer.
dominate the mass consciousness of a single country. The closest thing I could liken it
I like
to
that
was
on
the
all these
Simpsons
things, yeah.
mania of early 90s America. This was, of course, before I started looking into things like global sales figures and weekly shonen rankings. And if I had, I would have known things like the fact that One Piece has sold over 400 million units worldwide, making it
Oh,
the
that's
third
crazy.
biggest
Hell.
selling comic in existence.
Somebody
recently beating
commented
out Spider-Man.
that so this was recorded 7 years ago. Up to like
Mhm.
now, I think it's number 1.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I can see
I
that.
think so.
Leaving
It was
only
already number
Batman
3
and
back then.
Superman ahead of
Yeah.
it. And even then, in 2016, Batman sold 1,859,956 units, and Superman sold 828,069 units. And you could even roughly double the sales of both series by taking into account all their offshoot titles. And it still wouldn't even come close to the 12 million in sales that One Piece sold that same year. And where things
Jeez.
really start to get crazy
So One Piece
is
is
that
hitting
if
like
these
that.
trends were to continue and One Piece were to run for another decade, it would nearly certainly surpass Batman in
Which is
lifetime
going to run for
global
another decade
sales.
from this
Right.
point.
And if it were to run for another 2 decades, which for Oda's sake I hope doesn't happen, it would surpass even Superman becoming the biggest selling comic in existence. Now, I'm not saying I think this will happen, but it's a hell of a thing to consider. And so, how has a series about a
That's why I feel
pirate
like we
boy
gotta
made of
watch it.
rubber
It's
managed to
gotta be
capture
good,
the hearts
right?
and minds
Yeah.
of so many
damn.
people
It's literally
worldwide?
just like he says, about to hit 2
Well,
decades.
to put it
man.
simply, the primary appeal of
Over
One Piece
1,000
is the simple
episodes for
premise
They're never
of
gonna be into
adventure.
it.
And yes, that is also the core concept of countless other shonen series, but nothing really captures the same sense of scale and exploration as the world of pirates. Our hero on this voyage is the energetic young pirate, Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy is a simple character with a simple goal, to find the mysterious treasure only known as One Piece, and in doing so, become king of the pirates. This was Luffy's primary motivator from chapter 1 and remains so in chapter 834. And this keeps Luffy's journey along the
So
one
lets me know,
distinct
like, he
path,
still hasn't
which is a
found One
concept
Piece yet.
Yeah, this
surprisingly
man can't
After
find a
episode
treasure in
800.
1,000 episodes.
in most other shonen series, our heroes will go on several different large adventures throughout the course of its run,
That's your
and these are
boy.
what make up
Gone.
the arcs. But in One Piece's case, it's always the same journey along the same path, to the point that you can actually chart Luffy's route out on a physical map. And the sub-arcs come from the various different islands or land masses the crew encounters along the way. This works
I hear a lot
particularly
about
well as it makes
Thriller
the
Bark.
core story of One Piece
Heard it's
very
supposed to
easy
be
to
good.
understand, while also allowing for a massive amount of variety in the series sub-arcs. Some can be very simple, like the Barty arc, in which the Straw Hats visit a famous sailing restaurant in order to recruit a
I remember
chef.
that one. We're about to
Or
get there
very
soon.
complicated, like the Dressrosa arc, in which the crew must untangle a web of
man.
political intrigue and face down a vicious and tyrannical false king. And because of how the
Oh
arcs
my
are
gosh,
structured,
that battle
with
looks like it's
literal
gonna be dope.
massive quantities of ocean between them, there's no real limit to the kind of stories One Piece can tell. They start off fairly villain of the week-esque, with most enemies being rival pirate captains, but as we move on,
look at that
we see
boy,
the Straw Hats
Buggy.
embroiled in government conspiracies, abducted by massive haunted ghost ships, springing jailbreaks, and even being at the center of large-scale global conflicts. And throughout the entire adventure, there's this
Global
real genuine
conflict sounds
sense of
fire.
time
Yeah,
and
so
progress.
One Piece is
When Luffy sets
complex.
out on his journey from Fuchsia Village, he has little more to his name than a wooden dinghy and his straw hat. And now, 20 years later, he's an infamous pirate.
Yeah, look at him.
World
Okay.
captain
Looking
of
like a
a
mob
renowned
boss.
pirate
Yeah, that's
crew
what I
in
was
all
thinking, a mob
existence,
boss.
The Straw Hat Pirates,
So
of
they're
whom
like his
include a
own crew?
master samurai, a technologically
Hold on,
advanced
what he say right
pantsless
there?
cyborg,
Hold on. Lane, you heard that, right?
Like, what was the
That's all
adjective
y'all-
he used?
Just so y'all know, Lane be hating on Zoro for some reason. Y'all see in the reactions.
Right.
He be hating on Zoro. I don't know why.
Hey, he didn't say who was a master samurai. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Straw Hat Pirates, of whom include a master samurai, a technologically advanced pantsless cyborg, and even an undead violinist with a awful, amazing sense of humor. One of the core joys of One Piece is watching Luffy slowly
Is that a
ascend
pair
in
of legs?
status.
Them
Right,
legs.
that looks insane.
As each new battle propels him
They
closer
look
to his
wide
dream
open
while
right
also
there.
increasing his
Right?
notoriety worldwide. It's not ever a story you could accuse of moving quickly, but it is always moving. And I think it's only when you look back that you see how far.
What?
Luffy and
Look,
his crew
bruh,
have
pause it real
actually
quick.
come.
What were
Okay,
you
here
about
we
to say,
go.
bro?
Go back.
I already know what he's about to say.
Look at the right. Look at the right.
Yeah, I knew
Come
you
on.
was talking about Nami, bro.
Wait,
Yeah, that's
focus.
you for Halloween.
Actually come. Of course, the success of an adventure series is largely dependent on the world the adventure takes place in, and this is another area where the series shines. One Piece's world, to put it simply, is the largest, most intricately detailed and well thought out of any of the long-running shonen series, which may not be obvious from the offbeat cartoonish designs of
What else
Oda's
would you
artwork,
consider a
but make no
long-running
mistake,
shonen series, like
this is
Dragon
a
Ball?
world of layers with its own government,
Simpsons.
economy, cultural and
You said
racial
what?
divides, with
Simpsons.
many
Shonen, nigga.
Rain.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
Many
I
different
would.
factions,
I guess.
all of whom have
I
their
guess
own
Dragon Ball.
philosophies and
Dragon
motivations.
Ball, yeah.
While Luffy and his
Hunter
crew are
short, though.
often at the center or
It
at
just
least
came back,
involved
though.
in large-scale
Yeah,
global
but you're talking
incidents,
about
It's not long
7 years.
running.
the world also progresses entirely separate to them. Major plot incidents completely
Or,
separate from the Straw Hats are common, and when they do occur,
Bleach.
they reverberate
Oh, yeah,
throughout the
Bleach.
world
Yeah.
on such a scale that it drastically affects the lives of every character in it, such as Porticus D. Ace's showdown with Blackbeard that resulted in the Great Summit War. It always feels like there's a larger picture in One Piece, and depending on the global political climate of the time, Luffy and the Straw Hats' allies and enemies can switch from arc to arc, giving the world this
Wait,
intriguing,
Oh, he
ever-changing
was
dynamic.
homies with
And so
Buggy
One
right there.
Piece's world
Yeah.
succeeds on a grand scale, but what may be even
Okay.
more impressive is the characters that
enemy is
Oda
my
has
friend.
filled it with. What at first can seem like a cartoonish gag character can, through Oda's storytelling, become a portrait of life at its cruelest and most tragic. And this information is often delivered through weighty flashback stories, in which we're taken through the key moments of a
This part,
character's
this shit's
life.
crazy.
And while a badly
telling
used
us.
flashback can utterly kill the momentum of a series, Oda uses them in such a way to give his characters weight, grounding, and motivation
Where's
that
the best
otherwise
part?
just wouldn't be possible. Like, seriously, you see this dumb-looking idiot in a
Yeah.
diaper? This is Senor Pink, and this guy has a backstory that is absolutely heartbreaking. And upon hearing it, it completely
Senor
changes
Pink.
everything about how
I got
you
a
see
star
him.
diaper on.
Moving swiftly along. Actually, no, wait, no.
And a
I know
binky.
some of you out there don't believe me, so we're gonna
That's
prove
what you're
it.
dressed up as a baby
Let's
wall?
do this.
Bro,
Senor
that's
Pink
literally
started out
you
his
today.
adult life as a member of the brutal Don Quixote crime family, where his days were frequently filled with criminal activity and brutal violence. Until one day, in the pouring rain, he met a woman who he immediately fell in love with. They got married, had a child, and for a while at least, everything was perfect.
Wow.
Except that Pink was
That was like
still
Nani.
involved in the Don Quixote family, which he hid from his wife for fear that she might leave him. One day he's called
Aw.
away on a secret mission and disappears for an entire week, and upon returning, discovers that the day he left, his precious son had passed away. And
Damn.
now his wife, furious and heartbroken, demands an explanation, and he tells her everything, at which point she demands he stay away from her, rushes from the home in the pouring rain, before getting into an accident that leaves her in a vegetative state. Pink,
No, that's
devastated
crazy.
by the events, visits her every day in hospital, until one day, on a whim, puts on a bonnet reminiscent of their son in an attempt to entertain her, and miraculously, she cracks a small, delicate smile. And so, for the sake of seeing his wife smile, he continues to dress more and more elaborately, even enduring the ridicule of everyone
That's
around
like,
him.
bro,
Years
what?
later, his
That's
wife
called
turns
And this is
just some
to
side
still
character
sees
he
this
said,
way
man.
and remembers for
It's a
her
random side
his
character.
beloved
That's
son. And so, one of the silliest
That's why I
looking
want to watch
characters
the
in
show.
One
Like other
Piece
niggas must have a
actually
crazy
has
story.
legitimate
Oh yeah, we'll get to it.
character
It's like
motivation
on
for
episode
addressing
900
this, and in
probably.
justifying this, he's an actual grounded, tangible character. What really gets me here is that this is one tiny, inconsequential character in One Piece's world, and yet still, Oda manages to imbue him with a sense of depth and grounding many writers fail to give even their main protagonists. And that's to say nothing of the amazing job Oda's done in establishing the main major heroes and villains of One Piece's story. Having so many characters with such fleshed out histories and motivation is the primary factor that makes One Piece's worlds feel so vivid and alive, and makes each individual character feel like a true story in their own right. The last thing I'd like to talk about with One Piece is also one of its least tangible elements, and that is the creativity and imagination that's gone into it. There's always a sense that when reading One Piece, Oda himself is enjoying the world and characters more
Older
than anyone.
Luffy always
It
looks
can be
pissed.
seen in the new and creative ways
He's
Luffy
been through some
uses his
things, you
at
could tell.
first seemingly
He looks older to you?
power. It can be
In
seen in
that
the
panel
bizarre visual
that they showed?
design
Yeah,
of
he
the
definitely looked older.
inhabitants and the camaraderie that takes place between the Straw Hats, and even in the ever-evolving, unique structure of Oda's story.
Ew, is that
arcs.
like
He
snot
always
coming
seems
from
like
his
an author,
nose?
not striving to hit a deadline, but an artist creating a world and story distinctly of his own vision. This is something we're going to dig a lot deeper into in a future video, but for now, just trust me, simply no one writes a story like Ichiro Oda. So with all that in mind, where should you start? Well, the obvious answer is page 1, chapter 1. The manga is for the most part a fantastic read, but I understand people's reluctance to get into it given its insane length. And the anime comes with many of its own issues too, such as a weak production run and masses of filler. But if you're curious to know if One Piece really is for you or not, or even if you just want to dip your toe in, allow me to present a different option, and that is the fantastic One Piece Movie 6, Baron Amatsuri and the Secret Islands. Directed by Mamoru Hosoda of the Digimon movie The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Civil
Digimon.
Wars, the movie encapsulates in a digestible 90 minutes everything that makes One Piece as a series so much fun, on top of having some absolutely
I
gorgeous
think people
animation
said
and
these
character
movies aren't
designs,
canon or something.
and one of the darkest and hardest right turns I've seen in any film for a while. It requires basically no prior knowledge
Animation
of One Piece
looks
or its
weird,
world to
though.
enjoy,
Different.
and I think
Yeah.
even if you
Yeah,
have zero
definitely.
interest in
It's
One
hurting
Piece,
low key.
seeing one of Japan's
Yeah.
most talented directors put his own unique spin on the world of pirates is absolutely worth checking out. Guys, that's going to do it for my intro into One Piece, and there is still a ton more we need to talk about. The characters, their themes, Oda's unique visual aesthetic, and what cursed fruit he ate in order to actually be able to constantly produce a manga of such quality.
Oh, so he had a
and we
double
shall
fruit
in a
himself.
full-blown why you should watch slash
I mean, he's
read
the
One
creator
Piece
of
manga,
them, so-
manga fruit.
but I hope this video
manga
at
fruit.
least has given you a foothold with which to get started. And also, as some of you are aware, I recently started a Patreon. So if you enjoy this channel,
And that's where we
and would like to see
saw.
more
No.
Yeah.
No, for real. Shout out, I think it's Straw Hat V. This is his name. He must have changed it.
Yeah.
Nah, he must have changed, unless that's the other person. Well, whoever this is, shout out to them. Original link to the video will be in the description.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the appeal of One Piece, guys. What do you think?
And you know, going
Interesting.
going back and watching this, it's actually made me happy because I was starting to get that I don't know if you guys remember him in the beginning. He said like it starts off as like pirate of the week type of behavior.
Yeah.
And that's the type of vibe I was getting. I'm like, is it really just gonna be like a new pirate every episode? Like, are we just gonna go through and battle like pirates? But like now that he's saying like as it gets in further, there's gonna actually be like more of a connecting story that lasts over like an actual arc that lasts a couple episodes instead of just like, oh, this is the pirate we're facing, or 2 episodes of the same pirate.
Like
or whatnot.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Like what they do in
exactly.
Pokemon.
Like that type of vibe, which you know is cool, I guess, but it's not really what I was expecting. And so I'm glad going back and watching this again. It's like, okay, it's
Kind of
actually
reassured
pretty
you
nice.
it's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Because if y'all don't know, like on Patreon, we're like right at the point where we're at Usopp's Island or whatever. I don't know what that island's called. I think it's called like Syrup Island or something. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about, Syrup Village or something. We're right at that point, so that's what Jack's
City
talking
Island.
about. Because as of right now, we saw Buggy, we saw the dude with the glasses and the claws. Like it's just so many like different like villains, and it's like, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it definitely gets better. But yeah, that's the appeal of One Piece. We have the breathtaking world of One Piece, which kind of shows us like the world, but we'll get into that next time. But thank y'all so much if you made it this far. Actually, Jack, you get us out of here, man.
Yes,
What am I
if you've
talking
made
about?
it this far, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe. If you're brand new, drop a comment. We really appreciate it. And again, like I said, if you want to watch the episodes now and you don't want to wait, you want to watch everything, join the Patreon. With that being said, we'll see you next video. Peace.
Peace.